I met and fell in love with Jack Waite. And I don't know if you can see his picture over here or not, can you?
I can. Well,
That's the two of us several years ago, of course. And while I was living in New York City at the time, I soon moved to Ossining, where he lived, and then commuted to New York to work. Um, we were together for 26 years, and they were the best 26 years of my life. We had a couple of friends who ran a store for primarily for birds. They had what was called the Bird Watchers Country Store, and they got us interested in hummingbirds. And so we had hummingbird feeders out in the back, and we went according to their instructions and put the feeder out the first day of May every year. And the birds never came until the second week in May, ever. So the day before Jack died, he died on May the 2nd. So the day before, though, he said, we need to get the hummingbird feeder ready. And I tried to tell him, we haven't had too much luck with the hummingbirds because they don't come until the second week. He said, get them ready. Well, I couldn't say no to him, of course. And so I fixed the feeder, put it out. And that day was the longest day of the last year because he must have had a premonition that he was going to die, because it took 3 hours to move about 35 feet from the living room to his bed. And he struggled with it, and he got cross with me, and because I was trying to encourage him to come on and get himself to bed. I'm going to do it when I want to do it. So he did it when he wanted to do it. And even though he was in a wheelchair, I had to carry him from the wheelchair to his bed. And so I got him in bed, tucked him in, and told him that I loved him, and I went to bed. And that was after about 20 hours of without sleep. And the next morning, my two cats did their usual duty and came in and got me up at 6 o'clock. So I said, let's go check on Grandpa. And so we went into his room, and he had already died. He died during the night. And I held him in my arms for a few moments and kissed him goodbye. And then I called the nurse that lived not too far from here, and she came by and called the hospice people, and they came and pronounced him dead. And then two of my friends came over, and those two friends and I went out on the screened-in porch and began putting the final touches on his obituary. This was on the 2nd of May, early in the morning, and not one, not two, but 3 hummingbirds came to the feeder. Nobody can tell me that they hadn't just come by to pay their respects, because since then, they have not returned to the feeder until the second week in May. It's been that way the whole time.